So, let's try again. Now we have sound and moving avatar. Hurrah! Thank you, Windows Update, for breaking stuff once again. Let's move rapidly onwards. So, today we need to start with working the cloth stitch bit over here. So there's some, so we can make the pile over here, and we grab you. Right. ABS has been acting funny, which is a little bit weird considering it hasn't done an update. Some bits of it aren't updating, some bit of it are. Sometimes it doesn't update whole chunks of things. It's having a bit of a paddy, frankly. But there we go. So, where are we at? You have got tangled, is the short answer. You and you. Don't need you just yet. I need to start with you. And a pin box. I was thinking actually, instead of doing this, I should probably do the Flanders thing. But I might actually do that. I don't need to do that for this. No, I don't like that. I did something and I've changed my mind. Because I didn't do it on all the others, I'm worried it will show. So let's sort this out. So what did I do? Well, normally I put a pin in there. Oops, wrong one. In there, like that. And even though it doesn't really do anything, I then move over to that one and put the pin in there. So I'm going to stay doing that just because, well, just because, really. My brain has just kind of vacated the building. I was about to do something, and I literally have no idea. I don't think it's because I'm not particularly thirsty, so I wasn't going to drink. Oh, can you not, please? Wretched animals. They've been like this all day. tell. I don't feel like I added one. Let's go back and check. I'm blowed if I can see it. I did add one. Good. So yes, I apologise if I'm not at my liveliest today. I feel like I've got lurgy death or something, but nothing yet to show for it. So it's like I can feel my body thinking about it. So, what do I do next? Got an itch. Oh, yeah, sorry. I've been so tired the last few days, and I know I'm sleeping alright. It is bizarre, so I do apologise. Oh, that was my hip just popped. Right, you're next. So, let's do this bit next. So, pair, 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 pair. So I shouldn't have bothered putting these on a stick, because I need these. Let's put you up there. So, let's do the thing. Right, these 5 are done. I do not need these again. Previously, and it worked pretty damn well, we did the tying off. She says looking for something that seems to have gone walkabout for some reason. How do things go walkabout? There it is. It's because they roll off. So I bought a tiny crochet hook, but that was fatter than the other crochet hook, on the grounds that this one shouldn't split the thread because it should be big enough for the thread to sit in. So what we need to do is put you in a stick because, well, it keeps you out of the way. Really, we need that tin. Now, where did the tin go that I put the bobbins in last time? Let me move my biscuit. Yes, I know they're a biscuit. Pounds. There it is. There's the tin I put the bobbins in last time, so I know that it fits. Right. Let's scamper you down here out the way and turn the pillow so that I get a better view. Now, this is the corresponding pin, which of course is at an angle and I can't see that far. So, what we need to do is make sure you are across an extra bit, because this always seems to kind of get a little wrong. Take the pin out. This goes through here. The problem is, did I just bend that? I did, didn't I? Yeah. Well, that's going to be really shit. It's going to bend that easily. Much as this would be great, and I think it is great, if it's going to bend that easy, it's going to break in 3 seconds. That's a bad plan. We'll stick with this one then. So let's make you long. Find the scissors. Choppity chop. In the tin. Put the pin over there a bit more. I need to put the pin back. Happiness. Happiness is a pin. Let's push down some of these other pins. See, I never know if it's left over right or right over left next. Where's Nautica when you need him? Google it, because my brain is doing that well today. So it says do the same one in the opposite direction. So we make sure you're as snug as you're going to get, and then we snug you, and we lay you to one side because we're not chopping yet, just in case. Because you never really know. You two are done. You. Keep wanting to stab my work with it because that won't do us any good. Just sort of solidness underneath it. You sorted. So, 5 bobbins down. Let me... I'm debating on this one in case I need to redo the pin for some reason. But... kind of feel like committing. Ah, screw it. Commit. Have faith, woman. I hate the way I managed to do this. There's 2 threads, and if you don't catch both of them, they go funny. Stuck. You stuck there. Does this? And it's stuck on that. Is saw that. No. Sworn it went the wrong way around a pin. Five pairs of bobbins down. That really 10 bobbins. Let me count them because I'm paranoid. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. Fair enough. One less stick in the party. Tuck the ends in because we will do more with those later. So, so I can feel raised pins under here and it bothers me because we all know that threads catch on raised pins. And even though it's underneath the cloth, if you run your hand over it you can feel it, so never hurts to push them down. Don't really want to do too much more today. What I think I can do is put you around there, you around there. Try and work out what the hell's going on with this. Things have mated round pins. This is the only thing that does annoy me, is, like, for example, this, I think it's because it's round a pin. The problem is I can't really see it because it's in the middle of the cushion. You want a pin in some of you are supposed to be, and some of you are not. So, you are not supposed to be lifted. I'm trying to pull you down a bit. And then you are supposed to be like that. Right. It's amazing considering how you try and bulk them all up and separate them and keep them happy. They managed not to be. Now, did I not come back for that corner? I didn't. Okay, so... To be honest, this is actually quite a simple piece. There are a lot of extra bobbins that are kind of lurking around. 5 of them are now in a tin because we got to the beginning, because there's the beginning in my square, so I've already tied them off because, well, why have a pile of extra bobbins when you don't need them? Which is why I took this piece all the way down. Normally I don't. There's no reason not to. There aren't many choices in lace making. So right here, right now, I can only work on the section I'm doing, which is this shaded cross cloth stitch bit down here. I cannot do this bit because I need the bobbins from that bit to do this bit. Can't do this bit because I need the bobbins from that bit. So the only bit I can do is this bit. So it's not often you get a lot of choices. Now, one thing you can do, but it's bad for your brain cells, is constantly work in lines in a direction. Doesn't matter which direction you pick, whether you go down this way or you go down this way, you know, realistically, it matters not. But if I tried to keep going across here, I would need to do the tops of these stitches here, then a bit more cloth stitch, and then another stitch. You're more likely to start making mistakes. So it's easier to do a chunk of a stitch, and I call them chunks because, well, there are bits of them. So I'm going to do like this cloth stitch bit down to the corner here, so it finishes on the diagonal corner, because you can't do these rows until you've done all of this bit, so I can't continue the cloth stitch bit round. I've done these ones. These are good. Obviously, I've done these ones up here, so they're good. They feed half the stitches, because everywhere there's a pin, 2 pairs of bobbins join at an angle, right? And so it is kind of one of those things where it just makes a lot more sense to me to do chunks. And, well, I can only do this one at the moment. So having choices, so for example, if I've done this square in the middle, I then have a choice of this bit, because I will have all the bobbins for it, or this bit. But it is kind of unusual to have too many. You don't exactly have a lot of choices. It's not like, say, cross stitch. Well, that's okay. Let me explain. So, this is not the ideal stitch to explain it on, but as I mentioned, in this style of lace, because I have got another one, just to confuse you a bit more, hang on. I do have another project. This project is evil, because for every pin, it's not 2 bobbins that join together, it's 4. So screw that one, because that's just overly complicated. That's like trying to sing the national anthem, spinning plates and balancing on point on a ballerina's point, just because you can, right? So let's look at this one, because an awful lot of laces work on this very principle. So this is a stitch called cloth stitch, and every stitch in lace making is made of one of 2 moves. Cross, which is left over right. Woo, right? And twist, which is right over left. And I need to do it to this pair as well. And then for cloth stitch, we do a cross in the middle. Stitch complete. These 2 bobbins have effectively, if you ever look at a piece of cloth and you see that it goes under the ovary, right? Hang on. As if by magic, cloth appears, right? This section here, I apologise that it's white, but a normal cloth stitch, if you look at anything, this or whatever, it is made of under the ovary, which is, this is what cloth stitch gives you. Everything goes under, over, and makes a solid base. So now we need to do it again. Cross, twist, cross. These 2 are done. And you get a bit faster at it, because, well, you get a bit faster at it. Now, much like making a diagonal in Lego, you have the problem that to move one to the right, you have to move 1 column to the right, and you don't diagonally have Lego, you have columns. So to move 1 column to the right, you need to use a new column. So I get a new pair of bobbins, and I add those. And I stick in a pin in the pinhole, because it tells me to, because I'm at the edge of my cloth stitch, and it says, you stick a pin in. So I do. You then twist them, because that's the done thing. Because basically, otherwise it falls apart. And you do exactly the same stitch going the other way. Now, I normally cheat. So this is the traditional way of doing cloth stitch, and there's nothing wrong with doing it the traditional way of cloth stitch. This is good for the sole. I need to make sure I'm ditching bobbins when I should. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yep. And then I grab a pin. I stick it in the hole. Because we've moved one to the side, I lose one this side, gain one that side. So here goes the losing one. There he goes. I will not be using him again for a while. Now I cheat. Now I'll explain my cheat. Given that threads go undery, overy, I move my bobbin one over. And then whatever these two now move as a pair. So whatever happens to this one also happens to this one because it's offset by the pin, the bobbin that we've already done. So you'll soon discover that I do this just because, well, it's a bit quicker. Now, speed is not really a lace thing. There is no real... I mean, you can see some videos of people do frightening speeds. But as a generic rule, lace is not for the speed freaks. However, there is a thing with my cloth stitch bit, which is, if you notice, because I'm always doing 2 bobbins at a time, what it really does that's useful is, if you think for coming back, I would normally do over, over, over. But the first thing I then do is, so let me show you on the way back, and I'll explain why mine works quite well. I didn't invent it or anything, I don't claim that, because I've seen other people do it. But only after I started doing it, so. But they were already doing it, if you know what I mean. So, you start with the cross, you normally then have the twist, and then normally this one would move forward. But the next thing that happens is this one moves forward. So instead of 2 moves, you do them together. Which then of course means that it makes it 2 moves per stitch, not 3. So it's just an efficiency piece of crap that that my brain thought, well, that saves a... It also makes it easier to... Well, it also makes it easier on my brain. For me, at least. And I didn't add one. I got to the end of... This is a variation on a pattern I bought. So, while this one is a Liz special in the sense that it is my variation, the idea was presented to me in the form of a pre-existing pattern. I just didn't like the stitches used, and then by changing the stitches, well, they don't fit together in the same way, so I had to move things. But realistically, I don't claim it as my pattern specifically on this. But it is kind of. Realistically, stitches are just made up of crosses and twists, right? And by the way, we've got ads in 3 minutes. And what you do for each stitch is different. So this stitch here that you can't really see for the pins, but if I undo this bit, you can see it a little bit better. This is a bit more of a net, which is known as ground stitch, and you do cross twist, pin, cross twist. These little squares make what I call squovels, because they're kind of squares with whole circles in the middle. So they're squovels. They're called rose ground. They have proper names, but everything's got a dumb name, so, you know, they're called rose ground, and those are made by doing lots and lots of pins, and so you have the little pins in the 4 corners, and basically you do the top one, the 2 on the right, the bottom one with the 2 that you do, and it turns into a squoval. So, but realistically, cross and twist is all there is to it. How you finish them off. Now, I can't really show you that without getting to the bottom, which is not going to happen in a hurry. But what you really do is you lift one of these pins up that's on the edge. You poke this lovely contraption through it, which is a pin with a thread through it. You then feed the end of your bobbin through the loop. You pull it through and you tie a knot. Now, in true perfection, you don't tie a knot. You repeatedly trail it through your work. life is short. Not it is. Knots are not unheard of. I then glue my knots because I'm buggered if after all of this work it's coming undone. And because I'm making so many of them, as you may notice from the top right hand corner, I have 18 of these squares to make, and it's going to take me about 18 months. So come the day I ever need to wash this thing, it is not going to fall apart. Hello, Silver of Dragon, how are you? Silver of Dragon also does lace making. And he streams, and he's cool. We like Silver of Dragon. That's all that matters. Oh, and ads, of course. Well done, ads. So, hopefully you're all back from ads. So yes, lace making does seem rather daunting, but you've also got to remember, Oderheim, is that the pattern is on the piece of paper underneath. All you do is follow it. And unlike, say, knitting and crochet, where you get the, hey, my tension might be different. While tension is a thing in lace making, because you don't want to leave baggy threads, it will come out the size it is on the sheet of paper. So it makes it quite a practical thing in that term. It's one of the few hobbies where you make it and it is the size you thought it was. Whereas everything else, it can shrink a bit more or grow a bit more or stretch in the wrong direction. Lace making doesn't tend to do that. So you can be quite precise about it, which is a good thing. Of course, the disadvantage of lace is, unlike nearly every other hobby where you make things, other than bookmarks, lace is really purely decorative. So come the zombie apocalypse, basically. Now, as I showed you earlier, fortunately, come the zombie apocalypse, I have other skills. This is some of my weaving. And so, come the zombie apocalypse, I can make clothes in many forms, because I can make my own yarn. I can weave with it, knit with it, and crochet with it. So, with any luck, I'll be good. This will not help me survive the zombie apocalypse. Bit of a shame. However, much like it was back in the day, lace being very decorative and something that only the very wealthy could afford, and a show of wealth, well, come the zombie apocalypse, I'm sure this would also be true. So lace makers may unite in the zombie apocalypse and look out for the mugs of wanting to show off. It's a bit like walking around with your Louis Vuitton bag, really, is that you don't need a Louis Vuitton bag. No one needs to spend car money on a bag or a pair of shoes. Sorry to all the handbag and shoe keepers out there, but it's a hobby, right? We can all have hobbies. Mine's a tad cheaper, although sometimes I question it. But in terms of needs come the zombie apocalypse, it is only the wealthy who will be needing to show off their wealthiness. And 1, 2, 3, 4. And so I hope I will get to continue my... no, I'm not expecting an incoming zombie apocalypse. But it's a good thought, right? It's a good thought for the... It sparks conversations with people who are not really into lace making, because, the zombie apocalypse, they can kind of... especially if they're a bit of a gamer, they can get behind some of that. So, my boss has already said that come the zombie apocalypse, he's going to come live near me. I've got news for you, mate. But, yeah, I do hope that the, it's, I enjoy the process of lace making, for the most part, because it is decorative. I have no immediate need for the output, which is why I'm making what I'm making. It's the only thing I could think of that I would use, which is a net curtain. Now, it's going on a window that no one in the world's generally going to see. So it is a little kind of pointless, but hopefully, as long as I don't make complete stuff up of it, it will be a nice enough net curtain. My brain, of course, is already planning net curtain part 2, where instead of making it as squares, it does it in one piece. And the other half of my brain's running around crying because of all the number of bobbins it would take. Because you need to think about this. While this square is about 5.5 inches wide, this, therefore, is not. This is half that distance. And it's already 70-something bobbins. So... well, if you multiply 2.75, or whatever it is, up to the width of a window, it's a lot of bobbins. Plus, brain's going, we could make it a finer thread to make it more lighter and net curtain-y. Well, then you need closer together pins and more bobbins. So half my brain can go do one. because, well, go do one. But if you are interested at home, I'm here most days, depending on where you are in the world. Part of me would guess Germany. But I tend to be around tomorrow afternoon my time, so to give you an idea, it's nearly 9 o'clock here, in the evening, that is. Because I don't work Friday afternoons, and it's a good excuse to do a longer stream in the afternoon. Tomorrow, I may do more of my other project, just because it's Valentine's Day, and my other project's got hearts in it, and it's pink. It's pink because I had pink thread. It's not pink because I actually wanted it to be pink. But pink is a good start in life, you know. It's got hearts in it, so. One, two, three. I knew I was missing one. So. As per the top right hand corner, I am making 18 squares. So the width of the square is the same as the length of the square, because it is actually square. It's not a rectangle. I have squares, hang on. The many tins of Liz. So let me quickly cover this up so that you can actually see. Put something dark behind it, otherwise you're never going to see it because it's white. These are the squares that I'm making. And I need to make 18 of them, as per the top right hand corner. And it's going to be a net curtain. When I've joined them all together. Thank you for knocking my bobbins, dog. So, I have 4 of these already in my tin. And as if by magic, for example, hang on. Around a month. 4 weeks-ish. It works out about a week a triangle. Usually. Give or take a bit. As I said, speed is really not... You don't kind of knock one out when it comes to lace making. It is very much the slow but sure project. I mean, as you can tell, the bit I've been working on since I've been talking to you, while I have progressed, you feel like you're stuck on something. Just checking. You just need to be longer. There you go. Doesn't grow very fast, unfortunately. Some stitches grow faster than others. Some stitches do not. It depends a little on the thickness of the thread, of course, because obviously the less pins per inch you need to do kind of thing, the quicker it grows. The more pins per inch, the slower it grows. So a really fine and delicate thing, such as this, grows really, really slowly in comparison, because it's very thin thread and it likes to break. Secondly, there are many pins, and there are more pins per inch, so it just takes that little bit longer. This was a lot of pins. I've got a feeling that this was nearly as many pins as this. The Flanders pink thing I showed you earlier, that is as many bobbins as this, and that's a quarter of the size of this square. But that's because Flanders has 4 bobbins for every pin. So it works out as many pins and as many stitches almost, because you're doing... As this, it just condensed into a smaller amount of space. To be fair, I don't hate my Flanders thing. I'm not enamoured with it in some levels, because while I do see that it is a very solid and good for doing pictures, it's going to be robust. It would make a great tablecloth where you're going to have things, you know, rougher things like forks and knives on it. Just because, you know, it has got, instead of each bit being a single thread or a pair of threads, it's got 4, so everything's just that bit stronger, so it'll take a lot more rough and tumble. The amount of extra effort is it serves a purpose, but not a purpose I probably will appreciate. Therefore, probably won't be doing that again in a hurry. But as I'm sure Silver of Dragon would agree with to an extent, is that if you're going to design your own thing, to make decisions, you need to know the options you have. And this is part of the reason that I've been trying other lace types, is so that I am aware of all my options and I can make a better decision as to what exactly I want, or how best to achieve the look that I want. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it is more of that rather than the it's not a case of I'm doing it because, well, I want to better myself by learning more, but it is, I want to understand 2, 3, 4, 5, what options I have. And, well, I've already discovered, for example, that I don't like a thing called picots, because picots to me look like pinholes gone wrong. That's fine. So the stuff I make doesn't have picots on it, unless I really have to. Next up are tallies. Tallies are like little square, hard, knobbly bits. Well, they're not always square. They can be leaf-shaped. Technically, they can be shaped, but they're generally square or leaves. Mine don't look that tidy. And as a result of not looking tidy, I'm not very fond of them. Now, there are times when they really do work well. Much like picots, I've seen a situation where picots can look good, but I don't like them, so I don't want them in my work. So I would never design something with picots in it, because, well, I don't want them to. And I think this is one of the things, it's like baking a cake. The first time you do it, you follow the instruction. And out comes a cake. And there's nothing technically wrong with the cake. But maybe you like yours more moist, so next time when you make it, instead of adding all of the butter, you add a tiny bit of cooking oil so that it's more moist. Or perhaps you want to add a bit of food colouring because you want it to colour. You start fiddling a little bit, or you add, I don't know, chunks of fruit to it, or, you know, or you add fruit juice to the icing, or whatever it is, right? Is that you add to it to make it the cake that you want. And lace making, I think, is very similar. Is the first time you do something, you follow the instructions. Very much. Next time around, you can go, well, really hate that. Don't enjoy making it. Don't enjoy looking at it. So I won't do that. What can I do instead? Now, some things you can just go, nothing. I'll just skip that, and picos kind of fall into that category in that you don't need to do something else as a picot as a general rule. Tallies, however, you have to do something else because, well, they fill a space. So you would have to pick on something such as adding beads or a sequin and doing that instead. I kind of wish, in a way, when I started this, I had added some beads to it. I've got some beads. I've got some very beautiful beads, I feel, to add to some lace work. And they're subtle. They're not, bright pink and green and stuff. But they are quite subtle beads. And I think a little bit of beads would have looked nice in it. But at the same time, it could get a bit weird. So with lace making, one of the key things is consistency. Is not necessarily what you do, it's how you do it. So if you add one twist here, you've forever got to do one twist because it will show. If you do, so in this ground stitch, I do half stitch, pin, half stitch. Well, if I did 2 twists on my half stitch for the first section, I would have to keep doing the double twists on it, otherwise it would show and look funny because it shows up. And of course, there are many errors you can make by not twisting enough, forgetting bits, tangling bits. Somehow, the amount you can error is actually quite surprising, considering you do what it says on the paper in front of you. It just turns out you can manage to make a lot of mistakes. And the quickest way to find your mistakes is to proudly take a picture and place it on the internet. The moment you do so, your brain goes, well, you screwed up there, and there. And you go, I tried really, really, really hard. Remove the spam bot, because he's an arse. Spam bot arse can go to hell. I like the fact that Twitter are quite quick at these, actually. So bye bye spam bot, you're an arse. Ban. That's a good point. Let's copy that. I'm going to now, somewhere in here, there is into us. There you go. Added more things to my Combat the Moron bot side of Twitch. So, with any luck, within a few moments, Twitch will go, hey, we've had your report. Great for that. We have taken action. They do usually quite quick. The only thing I do wish is that you could make a magic button that reports them and confirms all the options, because you've kind of got to right click that, do that, type in here, click this, click that. It's not a... Oh look, they've already actioned my report. Shocker. They are quite quick on it. It is really quite pleasing. So I really don't want to do this one today. I really don't. Really not in the mood to start that at 9 o'clock. It's not because it's a bad thing. It's really not. It's just that I'm not in the mood. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put you back over here. Because, well, you back over here is the thing. Actually, let me put that down here for a sec. What I'm going to do is take a picture. Because as is tradition. Take a picture. Like that. And then cover it up with the 50 billion cloths that I have, because this is what I do. It helps in case the dogs knock my pillow to have many cloths over the top to dampen the jiggery pokery that comes along. And if I move that tin, I can now grab my Flanders pillow and rest it on top. And we can play with a bit of this. So where am I at? I am at here. So I want you four. So this works exactly the same, except everywhere is 4 pairs of bobbins joining together, just to be infuriating. Put you back. Screwed that up. No, go over the end. There we go. It's a bit long. There we go. Let's make it a bit shorter. There we go. So, unlike on my last one where cross twist was kind of 2 pairs of bobbins joining, this one does what is called as half stitch and then double stitch for some reason, even though you think it'd be a whole stitch, but it's not. Well, it is a whole stitch, but under Flanders you call it a double stitch. Then you put a pin in and you tighten everything up like this. Try to pull on 4 bobbins simultaneously is harder than it sounds, and that still doesn't look that good, so we'll give it another bit of a tug like that. That's a bit better. And then you do it again. Put them over there and go through the tensioning process again, and could do with it being a little flatter actually. Hang on a sec, let me sort something out. There you go. So, now it's flat. That's always a good thing. So we can... It's a bit high up for me, but that's okay. We can cope with some of that. Let's move you around a bit. Now we need the next 4. So this is what I mean by extra effort, and on my stream I've talked quite recently a lot about, you know, effort versus reward, and sometimes, you know, like I was saying about tying off at the end of my square, if you don't do the knots, which, you know, is a better solution technically, and all of those good things, the truth is though, is it takes a really long time, and it's kind of hard going. I just realised I really ought to, oops, kicked my table, change my thing. So let me just edit this. There we go. Updated the stream information to be a little more accurate because I'm not doing my net curtain anymore. I think the person I was talking to has wandered off. That's okay. You're allowed to do that. It would be nice if this was a bit lower. But if I make it lower, you can't really see. I know what I could do. I could make it lower. Hang on. I could make it lower like this, which is a better height for me. And then a zoomage in. There you go. That's a bit better. Put it there. That's good. That works. And I've just kicked it again. I have the IQ of a gnat today. I really do. So. Where did the stick go? There it is. Now, I noticed on my way down, or I was thinking about it, was that in this I've screwed up somewhere. In that I don't think I've got the right number of pairs coming out. But at the same time, it's hard not to. So these ones need to come mainly from that pin, which I suppose they sort of do. It just doesn't look quite right and has this air of I screwed upness, which is quite likely after all. That would be approximately right for what I'm doing. So we shall see. We shall see. Done it again. Where's the stick gone? Where have I put the stick? There was a stick. What the... How have I lost the stick? How confusing. Oh, not spare sticks, but I think the answer is it's not a spare stick because there should be two in there and one in there, and in fact that probably almost is certainly what I should do, which is why I haven't lost a stick in theory. So let's do a bit of that. So you four in this order need to go back in here. one of those days where all the flat things don't stay on the other flat things. Now you want to fall off all the other things. Seriously, flat objects. Right. So we need to, let's get on with this. Just want to watch someone do something. This is interesting because, as you know, occasionally while doing this, I have a stream up in the background that I listen to. And he's trying to kill a boss, and for once they're not twinked and you know, all uber goobery, but there are a pair of them doing it. And it is quite interesting to watch them on basically the same kind of gear that I'd have, trying to do something. Now obviously there is two of them, but the bosses and stuff are harder when there's two of you, so it is much more like watching me trying to do it. I feel a little bit more normal looking at this, because normally he kind of goes in and goes bang and they're all dead and you're like, I wish I could do that. And she's dead. So now I move on to the section that I enjoy the least, which is the cloth stitch heart bit. Now, let me explain a little as to why I dislike it. It is not bad per se, but it's not good either. It is what it is. Now, the key problem I have with it is how pairs come and go, well, pairs of pairs come and go from within it, as well as trying to work around all the gimp thread, the spare threads that it leaves on the outside for no apparent reason whatsoever. So let me just wind a bit onto this bobbin, because I need a gimp thread pair. There we go. For the next section. And basically a lot of prayer is seems to be the short answer, because, as I said, when you join and leave and join and leave, and well, when you start, you kind of faff around a bit, and it's just kind of complicated, and it's overly complicated, and there are threads all over the place. So I need U4 and U4 to make the top of my The other problem was when I was making this, I put all the dots beautifully on my tracing paper. I traced it out and I did all of that. So I'm just checking where the pinhole is. So this is where my brain finds it complicated. So you go on, well, you don't really go on the outside of this, but to make sense of it, you kind of do. See, what happens in technically is this goes here and achieves literally nothing. But what I am going to do is I am actually going to support them, because it makes life a little more sensible. And I'm going to lay you across like that, and you go under over like that. You go over like that. Now that's technically wrong, so we'll undo that, because, well, it's wrong. U2 and U2, you out a sec, because what I need to do now screw it, I need this to go around the pin because my brain just can't without it going around the first pin. It's just, my brain is not gonna work. So you work as you kind of a one, you kind of a one. And I almost can put little duties around you, except I don't have any to hand. So what happens now is you go over and you go under and you go over, under like that. You now meet in the middle, which is where technically the pin goes, in between the hole. So what I will do now is take said pin out and try and, you know what, see, this is why not, because there's nothing to hold this gimp thread up and it's just sliding down. So you know what, phooey to that. So you need to go between those threads and I need to pick you up like that. Screw it, you're staying there. It's just too much effort. And again, effort versus reward, right? It's just too fiddly if you don't. So, you are the 4 on the inside. You are too long because you've come off the top. That's a bit short. There we go. So you 4 in the middle. You're on the outside. You're on the outside. Now, you guys are on the way in. So, you go over, under, and then we put in a pin, which doesn't really achieve a lot, but you go in there, like that, yes. And you come over like this. And then you go over under like that, and you get off all the pins that you've mated around, if that, you know, you could be so kind. And then you come in like that, you go over there and just float. control here, but nothing from, there isn't the two parts from this pin. This pin kind of disappeared, which means that all of these are kind of wrong, if you know what I mean. But they're also not. So let me package up these and have a good stare. Looks a bit too many. 1, 2. Yeah, it is, but it should be enough to fit on a stick. So, I've got a feeling somewhere, like this pin here, there are too many ends. See, look, there's too many here. Something goes wrong here. And as I say, all these pins don't really do anything. That I think sorts them out. Or at least close enough. Of course you came off. This is the only thing that is kind of frustrating, is that you don't need a lot on this particular bobbin, and it keeps coming undone. So, to put you over there for a second. Because I don't need you. Everything keeps sticking on these pins, even though I push them down as far as they kind of want to go. But they always manage to find a way to stick. This is why the Flanders style is slightly frustrating, is you see the number of bobbins that I've got for this tiny little bit of cloth stitch. It is somewhat overpowering, and I need to do fancy things with these bobbins because something's not right somewhere. It's kind of, you two are definitely a bit more of a, well, to be honest, you two are the pair and not you. You should really have been over there somehow, but you've got the wrong side of things, so we'll ignore that for now, and let's put these down, because while I can do these floating in the air, my brain doesn't like to if it doesn't have to. So if we put them down, we just need to see who's what. So let's put you see, like that, you make more sense. So over, cross, cross. Wind you up because you're just being annoying. You're just being annoying. I don't mind the changing of the worker thread. What I do mind is the fact that you've got 4 bobbins coming in or going out, or a bit of both, and it just means that there is such a huge bulk of bobbins to do this tiny little bit of cloth stitch. I mean, to make a decent density cloth, you do need quite a few bobbins, but at the same time, it just seems, if you think of everything else, it just seems so much more effort for it, is where I'm going with that. Just feels so much more effort to keep up with the 50 gazillion bobbins that I've got, which is why I'm really glad I picked these thinner ones. But as I say, getting the tension right and being able to pull these up and not have it mate with others, because normally you'd put a pin under these so you can give them a good yank and it makes a lovely horizontal line, but you can't put these over that. So if you look what happens to these two when we introduce the next 4, and we've now got like 58 billion bobbins in play. So these 4, I need to go around up. These now go through this pair, great. That pair look like they're going to dangle down, which they kind of are, which is great. And we put in a pin, because that is the done thing. And the pin goes this side, so it goes there. No, it doesn't go there. Actually, am I there already? Okay, I have faux pas. These are not. This is not the plan for these bobbins. So we undo this. Well, it is kind of the plan for these bobbins, but not quite. So, you come out. And you meet these, and you do cross, twist. And that's not true. We do. Gotta remember what I do here, because it's more complicated. So I need... See, the problem is I need ones from there, which I don't have, which are these ones. So those 4s need to meet these. So you need to get 2 twists. You then do a thing, and then you do the proper thing. You then get the pin, which goes here. But you also have a pin, because, well, you can. These are the only ones that get a support pin. So they go there, like that. And then you get tightened up like that. And then we do the cross, twist, and then cross, twist, cross, twist. And we tightened you up a lot, because, well, we're allowed to. You 2 can double twist and go back in. So you go under, over, and now these 2 work back. This is the only time that this happens, is on the kind of peak of the... And that pin is very jaunty kind of. Straighten you up a little bit. But you just end up with so many bobbins floating around. And these then have to go back. You 4 are bored. You 3 are the gimp thread of boringness that goes around the edge. So these have to go back across like this. Good news is this is the widest point, bar the other blobble on the end of the... But it's not. Why not? Because we haven't added all of the ones on this slope yet. So basically, arse. There are still more to add. I've lost the plot somewhere, so I need to get backwards. So, you are over, you're under, over, under, over, under, over, under, over. Scoot, scoot, scoot. Need more space. You two are also in on this, so you went over that, so you're over. Right, this gets all the way to the other side, which is a good thing. But we need to add 4 more bobbins, as if there weren't enough bobbins already. As I say, this is the only thing I struggle with this, is just the sheer quantity of bobbins, because everything is about 4 bobbins, bar the cloth stitch, obviously. That's still done as two pairs of bobbins in effect. We're getting there, we're getting there. So, 4 more bobbins. You need to do the bobbin dance and get unpicked from the thing. So you need to go across, twist, cross, twist, and tension. You need to go over, under, and we get a pin. We put the pin in here like that, and then we can do it over, under again. You go through 2 lots, the 2 new pairs, because, well, that's how that works. You're now bored. You two are the new workers. And I have finished my drink. I mean, I'm getting better at remembering where the pairs go and how it works. And I actually think so far I've probably made less fuck-ups. I mean, that's not a guarantee, of course, because, you know, well, it's not. But, you know, I think I've made less fuck-ups. But I do think that now is a really good time, because it is 20 past 10, and I've got to upload this yet, to put this away. So I'm going to place these in here for safety, and you two. And you, as my gimp. Actually, you are not my gimp, but in which case you two can come out. And you can go in the next bobbin pack. So, where is my gimp? It's in there. There it is. So, 1, 2, 3. It's normally how many bobbins we put in a pack. Some of you are looking a bit short, but that's okay. We're not that worried by that. So. Dog's woken up again. There. So, we've done a bit more. The dogs be singing. Or the dog. Only she sings. What? Now don't molest me. I do not need molesting. No. I don't. I don't. We have these conversations and I have no idea what I'm talking about. What's the matter? She comes and whines and I go, and she comes and ums at me some more. And it's like we're having a conversation, only I'm probably butchering her mother tongue and she's probably having a go at me for it. But I don't know. What? Yes, I can see you. Yes, there is dog. Yes, there is dog. Trample, trample, poke, poke. So I probably will do more of this tomorrow, as it's Valentine's Day tomorrow, and this will be the nearest I get to Valentine's-y things. I realistically need to do a bit more of this groundwork here, because, well, some of them kind of go in and come out, and go in and come out. So I do need to do a bit of those so if I do this, you can see that this pair comes out to go here, so I must have done this one, which takes some of these, takes this one, so I do need to do some ground before we do that, but that's for tomorrow, Liz. I think I will take a photo. It's a little bit scuppered by bobbins like that, so let me take these out so that you can that the photo doesn't look quite so scary. And my phone's doing strange things. Let's take a picture of that. I can't believe that's all we've done, but there we go. I mean, considering how much effort that tiny bit of cross stitch was, is really quite shocking. But I thank those of you who are still around and anyone watching. You've been very quiet, so I don't know quite who's here and who's not. But I do thank you. I shall be back tomorrow afternoon. Maybe tomorrow evening, depending on how much of a roll I get on. I shall hope to see you there. Bye-bye.